Greetings, fellow Wacksters, and welcome to the next episode of Tyranny. So, we've gotten to the camp and we're about to meet with the Archons. You guys are enjoying the series until now, so let's see. Hail to you, says Pentacle. Guardian of the law, the man dressed in merchant finery greets you with a smile. If you have a few excess rings weighing you down, best burden yourself before battle. You know that if the disfavored suffer a merchant in their camp, that must be a man selling only the finest provisions and ornaments. He points to his collection of his shields, rations, satchels, wineskins, and other sundries. Take a look and see if something interests you. Let's see, how did you come to work with this? Let's just see them. In the burrow of his hands, eyes alight. Let's see if we can find something you might like. So, nope. None that I need. I want to find a new bow. Better bow. Ah, so these are quick items. That's what we do. Time to chit chat. Barrett. He looks like a fun type. Loot this one. That's pretty good. For real. Let's just discover the camp before we go to the tent where we're supposed to go. Blacksmith. Isotanus. Isotanus curses the air as the blade of thin iron breaks in half between his hammer. Repairing weapons with scrap isn't exactly where I got into the scrap. But our supplies are spent. He wipes the sweat from his brow and gets a better look at you. Why not forge bronze? Bronze will do in a pinch. Don't get me wrong. It can take a beating and get bent back into shape, like this stubborn iron we have here. He glances at a pile of his work with dread. And we always have plenty of tin and copper lying around, so supplies aren't the problem. It's a rare smith who can churn out military-grade bronze consistently. More often than not, it comes out soft. Look around camp. We're garbing the Legion head to toe in iron because it's cheaper and easier to produce for the masses. Couldn't do that with bronze. They called it disfavored the Iron Legion for a reason. Strategy and skill may be our backbone, but our claws are made of iron. The good stuff that comes from the smiths in Lethian's Crossing. You mentioned an iron shortage. I'm afraid so. The last shipment went down the Matani went missing near Etrokal Crossing, and I'm afraid we won't be seeing any more now that the valley is sealed. Forge-bound iron is Tunan's responsibility. Why is this the first I'm hearing of it? Keep your voices down, Isotanus flinches and lowers his own. Raven Ash doesn't want to cause a panic or pass any information to the Vendrian Guard. Best case scenario? Their iron tumbles off a boat and is rusting in a riverbed. Worst case, it ends up in enemy hands. If I find myself in Agricole, I suppose I can keep an eye out, or what an embarrassing display of incompetence. Count me up. Yes, let's do it. I appreciate that, as does the great general. More than you might guess. Maybe he isn't quick to offer his thanks to outsiders, but I know he'll be grateful for your help. It would be a boon to the war effort if our iron was recovered. You can trust me to handle this. I knew that Tunan wouldn't have dispatched you without good reason. The court isn't exactly known for gambling when the stakes are high. He glances to a crate beside him and points to a small set of notches on the wood. You see that? That is how we tell apart our iron shipments from the rest. Inconspicuous so people don't go snooping around. You'll want to keep an eye out for those. Good hunting. Very good to know. First straw in the corner of this business absorbed much of the stench. Okay. I wonder how we level up, if we even level up yet. Huh. There's no stealing in this game. Bitter quip. Glory to the voices of the rod. Projecting his salutations for all to hear, the grinning bloodchander wraps his staff against the ground as you approach. Fate binder Antelas, I presume. His smile quickly retreats, giving way to a sour scowl. I am Bitter Quip. I am here as the emissary of the Scarlet Chorus. Bitter Quip looks at you impatiently. What is it like working with the disfavored? What can you tell me of the Scarlet Chorus? Ah, farewell.
Good thing I keep a torsion wrench handy.
Huh, animals. Let's see how they get deer.
Sorry, I can't.
Not sure that was actually possible. Of course it is, now that I think about it. I love loot. I hope there's many variations of loot in this game. Ah, there we go. Stone shield gloves. Let's see, what do we have? Any better? A lot better. Let's put that. That's 200. It's not possible to trash something in the category. Would be nice though. Tiersman Spine Bow, 15 or 14. So let's see which bow is best. Okay, this bow is best. So we'll give it to Army and Hero. Of course. Actually, maybe she should get this. She can have the mace and the shield. What else is around here? I am Lucia. This is Marcus, his favorite soldiers point to the armored man next to her. And you must be the Fate Binder. From under her helmet you hear an audible scuff. We've been assigned to your hospitality, Marcus quickly interjects, while you remain on disfavored grounds. If you should need a place to rest, we can make the necessary preparations. What can we do for you? Hunter. Is there any sport to be found in Apex, or do we only fight amongst ourselves? If you're referring to game, the chorus hunted many of the animals to obscurity on the first wave of the conquest. Most of the meat we have to spare is salted, and perhaps more importantly, northern. I don't trust southerners to keep their livestock nourished. A few animals we keep in pens or pits are for the higher officers. I'm sure you're entitled to a hunch of something or other, and I'd love to watch you eat it, just to remember the taste of fresh meat. What's it like serving with this? Fair, Marcus, I'd like some training. Lucia, I could use some training. Okay, let's ask Marcus. Not sure there's much to tell you. I trained at Fort Resolution. This is my first campaign, and I'm proud to be with the Legion. I was wounded at the Gauge of Judgment, but Graven Ash's protection mended me good. I owe my life to him. Are you bragging that you let your guard down and took a spear to the gut? You really shouldn't boast about a filthy Tiersman besting you in battle. Lucia rolls her eyes. You're just bitter that Lord Ash never seems to notice you. In all seriousness, I would take that spear again if it brought honor to the disfavored. Kairos knows we could use it. We are the elite fighters of the Northern Army, but somehow we still lack the Overlord's confidence. He shakes his head and sings. I do. She unenthusiastically lifts up her heavy shield, and I do this. She mockingly stabs at the air with her spear. Lucia shrugs. Playing host is not my strong suit. Ignore my sarcasm. I've seen the Legion through my share of the campaign. After so much bloodshed, our pretenses of honor can wear me down. She turns a cautious eye your way. The North is my home, and I consider each and every one of the ironclad bastards in this camp to be family. You won't find another army where each member of the Phalanx is as beloved and cherished as the next. You seem handy with a weapon, Lucia. Insufficient repetition. I know a thing or two about hitting foes who are stupid enough to challenge me. What of it? What have your skills fare in battle, Marcus? Insufficient waste. Is this all a ruse? The Tunans send you to test the army's training and grit? Because I won't stand for it. What is it like serving to disfavor? In spite of our name, the Legion commands more honor than any military on the face of Terratus. So the name of the world is Terratus. Interesting. Unlike the chorus, there is tradition, discipline, teamwork, and unity of purpose. Marcus looks out across the camp. There aren't many of us, but it's better that way. We're a tightly knit family bound together by trust and glory. If the Legion boasts so much honor, why are they disfavored? I'm afraid that isn't for me to say. Others around camp might be able to tell you more, but I don't freely discuss the great general's history to outsiders. But you'll say that it involves the great general, which is already telling a clue, idiot. Face slap. Let's ask Lucia for some training. Finally, some fun to break up the monotony of this siege. Let's train. It costs gold. Well, let's train some dodge. Some athletics. So you can only train 5 times per level. Interesting. Okay. Good to know. Hidden objects. Where? There.
Huh.
Ooh, guarded Ruby Western. No Ruby. That was too quick. Let's see this guy.
Sorry, I can't.
Okay, he doesn't want to talk to us right now. Well, then let's go inside the tent. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. I certainly am. Even though we're only on the, I believe, 3rd episode. Ooh, so these are the 2 leaders. Yesterday you chided for me wishing to wait. No, now you suggest an even delay. Let's just go.
That's 4 reports of avalanches in the mountains now. The Tearsmen can barely count past 9. They have neither the capacity nor the cause to close off the mountain passes. Either way, that leaves the 2nd and 4th cohort trapped outside the valley.
The Archon of War pounds his staff on the ground to punctuate his words. A large and imposing man to begin with. His profile is made larger still by his hulking suit of armor that hums with mystic energy.
Or it's the work of your perfidious Earthshakers. Only a fool would not suspect a traitorous Archon of poisoning the mind of his students with sedition. We would have killed the Earthshakers Guild for their master's treachery, but I'm sure you have some perfectly valid reason for allowing them to live as your pawns.
The Archon of Secrets passes a scepter between his hands as he speaks, twirling the rod in hypnotic circles. Emerald luminescence seeps from the seams of the Archon's ragged red robes. The glow is most noticeably where his neck ought to be. His mask seems to float and spin, never pivoting or bending naturally.
Hey, watch yourself. When these 2 get going, you don't want to get between them.
Verse whispers fearfully as she beholds the Archons. Okay, I'm here to proclaim Kairos' edict. The valley was sealed in preparation for this moment. Clear your throat or remain silent.
I always know you've run out of things to say when you resort to mocking my vassals. If we are to speak of treachery, why is it that my scouts see the Scarlet Chorus warriors defecting back to the Vendrian Guard? Your fearsome reputation has gone flaccid, for it seems you cannot control your soldiers, or perhaps you simply choose not to.
My lords, the Fate Binder has arrived. Okay, so this is Iron Marshal Erinyos. The disfavored commander raises her voice, trying with little success to speak over the Archons. Perhaps we could table this discussion and let our guests speak.
Speaking of strategic failures, who was it that insisted the valley would need only a token garrison? For some strange reason, we can't seem to recall which balding halfwit grossly underestimated the enemy. Thoughts?
The Archon of Secret twirls his scepter in a twisting loop, his leather-wrapped hands flipping the heavy rod with an effortless flow. If I may address the Archons, are you two just about done? The voices of Mine Wrath versus Mine Loyalty. Cough audibly. If I may address.
Did I give you permission to speak?
The Archon of War turns to you, his blue eyes wide with anger. The many portraits you've seen depict Graven Ash with a stern, unamused countenance. He is even more taciturn in the flesh. Bowed to the Archons. Apologize for the sudden entrance. I've traveled long to be here. My favor. Glare silently.
Ah, the fire starter has arrived. Welcome, welcome. Our agents tell us such lovely stories of what you did at the Vellum Citadel. Have you come bearing another fragment of Kairos' wrath in tow?
My soldiers tell me you helped Commander Drotus on your way through Eddring. You honor the court with your selfless cooperation, for that is the sort of camaraderie that Kairos demands of us all.
In the last of his words, the Archon of War glares at the voices of Nerat, furrowing his brow as he utters the word camaraderie. Graven Ash. Okay, we gain favor with everyone. Wonderful. I require no thanks for doing my sworn duty. I come bearing the edict of Kairos. Are you all done bickering? I have an edict to proclaim. Gain my favor. Lose. Bow to the Argon. It is an honor to be here. Gain my favor. Lose my favor. Let's just do this.
For the second time, Brother Tunon selects you for the glory of proclamation. You should be honored. Tell us, what has the Overlord decided to unleash upon the Oathbreakers?
The Overlord's loyal servants must hold Ascension Hall by Kairos' Day of Swords, or all in the valley shall perish. It seems you need some encouragement to work together. Kairos' edict will end the lives of everyone in this valley unless Ascension Hall is claimed by Kairos' Day of Swords. In honor of your incompetence and disarray, the edict will execute every living thing in this valley unless Ascension Hall is taken by Kairos' Day of Sword. I don't want wrath from Graven Ash. Let's just do number one. The earth sways with each word you utter, the air thickening with warmth as you pronounce the tersely phrased commandment. It's every syllable drafted by the hand of Kairos. With the edict proclaimed, your pulse quickens and the muscles in your legs, worn from a long trip down the mountains, feel renewed. The tired limbs now nearly buoyant with vigor.
The Overlord means to compel us into action. No doubt the avalanches in the mountains are part of this ultimatum. We must conquer the Oathbreakers or die in failure. There is no room for error, and no other way out of this valley alive. We'll need to advance across the Mittani, We lose everything if we stand still. And we move to back up Plan Green. The Earthshakers didn't make it over the mountain in time. So we do this the hard way. Over the walls instead of through.
The Archon of War taps a finger against his temple. A low rumble escapes from under his breath. Beard.
So you found your backbone at last! Oh, we were worried past humiliations would make you soft, timid. That was a record for you, right? A baker's dozen lost in one sortie. If you had waited for the chorus reinforcements, maybe we'd have eyes and ears on the matter.
The Archon of Secrets passes his scepter from one hand to the next, chuckling softly with each toss. Bicker all you wish. You're just wasting valuable time. Are you too daft? It is indecision and bickering that necessitates this edict. I want to pick the one which will gain me favor with as many as possible. Subterfuge. They call you the Archon of Secrets, but you certainly don't seem to know anything remotely useful. No, that wouldn't really help. Let's just remain silent.
You make it sound like you've been putting even the slightest effort into getting a foothold across the Matani, when all you've done is set your gangs to uncoordinated raids. You're the Archon of Secrets. Why is it you still don't know the enemy's full strength and capabilities? Maybe you know, and choose not to share.
Look, if you're afraid to send more troops against the Oathbreakers, just admit that you're a coward and allow us to take charge of the situation. The Scarlet Chorus will be happy to prove it can do what the disfavored cannot.
Let's continue to
I tire of your incessant heckling. The disfavored have shouldered the brunt of this war, and I will not have you mock our sacrifices.
My lord, Barrick and his band have been drilled on the Echocall assault plan. The Crescent Runners should be briefing him as we speak regarding the latest enemy movement along the river. I will dispatch him at once. The Iron Marshal salutes, clapping her gauntlets to her bracelet plate. Fifth Eye. Another lieutenant, or commander. Fifth Eye. And I will ensure the chorus stands ready to march. If the disfavored can take the river, the chorus has the manpower to secure the outer ring of the valley.
Our soldiers clamor for battle, and at last we shall have it. Verse, we command you to continue guarding the Fatebinder. Tunan's Chosen is our honored guest, and must be shown our finest hospitality.
I won't let you down, boss. He'll get through the campaign and win peace, as long as he doesn't do anything too stupid.
Is that a challenge? The Archon twirls his scepter one last time, then taps the fifth eye on the shoulder, and the two depart.
Finally, the fool and his puppet are gone. Perhaps now I can hear myself think. Rarely do I question Kairos' judgment, but I will never understand why the voices of Narot is given such authority. I shudder to think what will become of us all should Tunon favor him in the end. Though the edict threatens the Scarlet Chorus just as it threatens us, I cannot shake the feeling that our allies will work against us. You've shown your worth in war, and your name has been known to the Legion since the very beginning of this long conquest. So I'd ask that you join us this one last time, to help us wrap up this last objective. If you wish to be counted amongst the glorious, speak with the Iron Marshal. She will direct the order of battle until we are ready for the final push into the Citadel.
I'm short a few scouts, short a few soldiers, short a few everything. I'm sure my brethren would be grateful for the assistance of a skilled outsider. I'm going to help. And what of the Scarlet Chorus? Will they be helping? Glare silently. I love the whole glare silently, but I doubt it's diplomatically wise in this situation. So let's just do the how can I help? Let's do. I'm thinking of trying as much as possible because this game is sort of based on being evil. I'm gonna try to do. Okay, I have this theory. Whenever there's an RPG, you can either go the Jedi way or the Sith way. and I'm gonna try to do the Jedi way. Maybe I'll do another playthrough if this game is really good as the Sith and just be like completely evil. But no, I'm gonna try to do my best to be diplomatic in all situations, and of course also use the lightsaber if necessary. In this case, my bow. Anyways, let's get back to it. The Iron Marshal salutes Graven Ash, then turns to leave the tent. I will be at the training grounds, readying the soldiers. Find me there when you are ready. She pauses, clearing her throat. And though I am loath to mention it, the chorus can likely use your assistance. They certainly won't secure the Outer Valley on their own. Fifth Eye will be somewhere in the rat's nest they call a camp due east. Seek him out if you must. Okay, so we need to do quests for these two factions.
Good thing I keep a torsion wrench handy.
Uh-huh. And let us exit. What is this? Speed of execution. Overlord has to create. Okay, so this one plus one resolve because we are under this. Now, are we able to rest or not? Well, if it isn't the Fate Binder. And so Marcus trains in something else. Good to know. But we can't really rest. I'm going to set we could rest there. Servius, by Kyrus's iron anus. It's the fire starter, and those swine flings in the chorus tell me you were a pile of ash. The massive soldier advances, arms spread to grab you in an embrace. Salute. Graven Ash protects. Servius, good to see you. Latching his arms around your body, Servius lifts you into the air with his embrace. The North never forgets a friend in need. He places you back down as effortlessly as he scoped you in the air, letting out a soft chuckle. Our little camp is overrun with those southern lepers that the voices adopt along the way. Servius looks out towards the brace of choirmen, loitering by the edge of the camp. Probably half of them were the fuckers we didn't kill the first time through this valley. Troubling thought. Graven Ash doesn't tell me everything, but I know you're here on official court business. Iron Marshal's running the logistics on this one. I'm just playing slave driver and making sure the patrols stay on schedule. What is it you need? I've heard you asking the Earthshaker where the reinforcements have gone. Is there a problem? Why do you think the siege is delayed for so long? Two armies haven't worked well together in years. What do you think that is? Let's ask about problems. I'm afraid so. Radix, the head of the Earthshakers, was supposed to arrive with a group of his most competent spellslingers to help break the stalemate. I don't know what's holding their arrival, and that worries me. If you were at all inclined to lend a hand, we could use some arcane support on our side. I could lend a hand. Could you? I knew that Tunan's agent wouldn't fail us in time of need. I'll mark the last known site of the Earthshaker's reinforcements on your map. Good hunting, Fatebinder. Why do you think the siege has delayed for so long? Let's favor... we have favor 1 now. It should have been over real quick and simple. The first cohort arrived in the valley and went right for the kill, but that was before we knew the Vendrian Guard had sages, and that Water Witch on their side. A bigger problem is the Scarlet Chorus. They eagerly conscript the Vendrian Guard, but I have no proof of this. But it seems they do very little to keep a watchful eye on these drafted tiersmen. They are often sent out on patrol, and we suspect they use that opportunity to escape back to the Vendrian Guard. Every chorus conscript has a choice: life under Kyrus or death under the army's boots. By all means, feel free to cut down those who choose the latter. We won't be offended. Just so we don't mistake each other. I know that what I'm saying carries an implication of treachery. I'm not making a formal accusation before Tunan's agent. I'm just voicing my gut opinion on the matter. Two armies haven't worked well together. What's that? Come on, Binder. Seems like asking beasts stink. Why beasts stink? The disfavored are only too eager to deliver Kairos' peace to the tears, while the Scarlet Chorus brings only mayhem in their way. You can tell me the voices of Nerat has a plan, and I'll take your word for it, but the chorus sure seems to blunder around, never moving with purpose as we do. I wonder if we've been fighting the same war, soldier. I've seen Ash yank his precious soldiers away from more battles than he's won. If you want to call that progress, be my guest. Unless we find a way to work as one, I fear that the Scarlet Chorus will step in front of Graven Ash's strategy at every turn. As far as I'm concerned, it seems like the voices of Nerat is here to amuse himself, while the rest of us here to do our job. Tell me more about yourself. Not much to tell. My father was Servius the Elder. His father was Servius the First of his name, lead driller masters of Ash's first Iron Guard, back when they were the Bronze Guard. I was born into the Legion, and with any hope, I'll die in the Legion. The rest we'll hopefully hear about when the storytellers immortalize me. Okay, great. Thanks, but I tried to think about it too fondly. If anything, every time I screw something up, I wish I wasn't dragging the family name through mud alongside with me. Well, this day and age was a century ago, and they didn't have Kairos' modern luxuries like iron. So back then, the great general's inner council was known as the Bronze Guard. Back to my other questions, and let's say farewell. Okay. Interesting. Well, we got a new quest. Maybe this guy will talk now. No? Iron Marshal. Don't just coddle the impact. Push back with your shield. Take the momentum. Iron Marshal's Arrhenius field commander of this favorite pounds her fist in the air as she calls out to the warrior on the training field. I set eyes on your opponent's waistline. If you spend more than a glance checking his footwork, you've lost. The disfavored officer turns to you, adjusting her pale golden serge coat as she clears her throat. Need to stay on top of the troops, or their skills will rust. It's for their own good, even if they don't believe it. It was mentioned you're short on warriors and need help. What's the situation? How are your warriors reacting to the edict? That's about the situation. I have brigades amassing along Placid, Echo Call, and Little Tooth crossings. The Vendrian Guard may be able to hold one bridge, but they cannot hold against a concerted three-pronged attack. I have no right to give you orders, but, her words falter, a short cough breaking her flow. But, we all die to Kairos' edict should we fail, so I'm not about to let my pride blind me to the value of good health. This is the second major attack on the river, correct? What happened last time? What's the value of taking the crossing? This very needs my help. I will assist. Then our plans just might work. The Iron Marshal lifts her gauntlets close to her face, shifting her eyes from you to the metal articulations. We are loath to work with those who do not share our training and our values, but we know that Tunon, the adjudicator, selects only the most capable minds for his court, and I trust you will honor us all on the field. Antio will be leading the charge at Echo Call's crossing. Assisting you will be Barrack of the Stone Shields. She points to a heavily armored soldier standing sentry at the edge of the training field. Before you ask, no, the forge-bound weren't sloshed on Dapple's seat when they fitted his armor. He survived the full force of the Edict of Storms, and this armor doesn't exactly come off. Tactically, it's quite brilliant, but otherwise, it's something of a curse. Wow, can you imagine? Tapping her helmet twice, Arrhenius signals to the hulking presence. Barrack, come meet the Fatebinder. The soldier that steps up to you better resembles an amalgamation of rusted blades and mismatched pieces of armor fused into a vaguely human shape. He reeks of sweat, feces, and whatever oil treatment keeps him flexible. Well, you can imagine, if you can't take it off, you can't even go to the bathroom. How does he eat?
Fatebinder, the Iron Marshal has tasked me with keeping you alive, and I have no intention of disappointing her. That should be enough assurance for anyone. Likewise, good binder.
The soldier heaves a heavy iron arm into a salute, his whole body clanging as he wraps his gauntlet against the twisted sheets of metal that form his breastplate. So, we have a tank. Wonderful.
Beric, is that you under there? I had no idea you were in Vendrian's well. Fatebinder, do you know this walking anchor?
Just a minute to know each other? I don't believe we've been acquainted. I know him as well as I knew anyone doing this conquest.
No. Oh, that is to say, yes. I'm already as familiar with this ironclad halfwit as I care to be.
She regards Barrett with a mixed look.
We don't have time to trade jabs today, Verse. After the siege, you can throw as many tantrums as you please. I suggest that we remain focused on the mission.
No offense to the mission, but seeing you looking like a garbage heap and reeking of a mass grave is more amusing by far. Did you forget how to don your armor, or did Graven Ash leave you out in the rain?
Barrick 6, a frustrated growl shaking his iron enclosure of his suit. I don't believe...
That can change. When the tiers are fully under our command, I'll take you to whatever passes for a watering hole in this forsaken country. We'll drink the local swill to honor the fallen.
Forget the fallen. I know a great brothel in Lethian's Crossing where we can watch something rise, then fall, then rise again.
Was that... Wait. If she wants to watch something rise, is she hitting on me or does she want to watch male prostitutes? Not quite sure. Okay. The Fatebinder will be joining us for the push across the river. I figured an extra hand might help, and more importantly, if my worries come true and the chorus tries to impede the mission, we will have an observer from the court on our side.
Better to work with the Honorable Binder than some chorus children.
He nods to you, his armor creaking as he bends his neck. I asked that Barrett accompany you there to arbitrate the cooperation between his company and the Scarlet Chorus. Barrick, you've been without a cohort since the last Battle of Stalwart. It's time we gave you a task more worthy than hauling wagons and leading training drills. She plants her hands on her hips and speaks in clipped official terms. Ash assigned you to the Fatebinder's service. You're to assume this task is ongoing until we find a more permanent spot for you, which could very well mean the swiftly approaching end of this war and when the Fatebinder dismisses you. Is that understood? Barrick regards the Iron Marshal in an oppressive silence. That's an order, Barrick. She shakes her head at 6, returning her focus to you. He can be as stubborn as pulling a spire out of the earth, but he's a good soldier. I hope you don't mind the company. I'm honored to have a member of the Iron Legion at my side. I do mind, but I'll allow it anyway, if only so I can put a large object between myself and the enemy. That's number 1. Excellent. I look forward to your success in the field. Great. Does this mean level up? Aha. Okay, level up. At each level, you can increase one of your character's attributes: might, finesse, quickness, wits, vitality, or resolve. Each of these attributes provides benefit to your character as well as increase one or more skills. Increase an attribute costs 1 point until the attribute score reaches 19. To raise an attribute from 19 to 20 requires 2 attribute points. Very good to know. So definitely don't need bow, 2-handed on our magic, 1-handed maybe, but let's do the whole... I'm thinking health. Spell strength, magic defense. Let's go with vitality. Is that it? Wow. Not a lot of stuff to do when leveling up. Okay.
I got it.
Okay, there's more. Talent points. There are 6 categories of talents available to your character: leadership, defense, power, agility, ranged, and magic. With each level, you gain 1 point to purchase a talent from in any of these categories. Within a talent tree, each tier of talents unlock based on how many talent points have been spent within that tree. To learn a talent, select its icon and then press save. Each companion has their own talent trees with unique abilities. These abilities unlock in the same manner as your character's talents. As you spend points within a companion's talent tree, further tiers of talents become available. Very well. We are gonna take the Sentinel. Issue mark intelligence? Yes. Taunt. Most definitely. Okay. And I think we're good.
On it.
I'm gonna talk to this guy. Let's see. Took what's here. Oh, this is an earth shaker, so we do have one. It doesn't seem like there's much more we can do. Maybe here. Back again. Have you soloed besides do it at the saves camp? No. Fine. Okay. Well, besides that, it seems that time's up for our episode. So. Hope you will join us for the next one where we will head out. What's this?
Fatebinder. You look like you need to talk. What can I do for you?
Let's talk later. Anyways, hope you guys have been enjoying it until now. See you in the next one. Wack out.